Picture this. You're a parent, drowning in credit card bills, wondering if you'll ever get ahead. Or maybe you're just starting out, excited to invest, but terrified of losing it all. Perhaps you're staring down retirement, praying your savings will be enough to carry you through. I get it. Money feels like a maze with no exit. But what if I told you there is a way to invest that doesn't require you to predict the future or stress over every market dip? Today we're rediving into two powerful strategies, dollar cost averaging and buying the dip, to uncover which one could transform your financial life. Stick with me because in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to break this down with real examples, heartfelt stories, and a clear path to help you build wealth with confidence, no matter where you're starting from. Let us start with a truth we all feel deep in our bones. Money decisions are emotional. If you're a parent in debt, every bill feels like a punch to the gut. If you're young and new to investing, every market drop feels like a personal failure. And if you're nearing retirement, every dollar you invest carries the weight of your future security. But here is the good news. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius to win at investing. You just need a strategy that works for you. Today, we're comparing two of the most popular investing approaches, dollar cost averaging, or DCA, and buying the dip. By the end, you'll know which one fits your life, your goals, and your peace of mind. Let's break down dollar cost averaging first. Imagine you're planting a garden. You don't wait for the perfect sunny day to plant all your seeds at once. You plant a little each week, rain or shine. Some days the seeds are expensive because the market's hot. Other days they're cheaper because it's stormy. Over time, you've spread out your costs, and your garden grows steadily, no matter the weather. That's DCA in a nutshell. You invest a fixed amount of money, like $100 a month, into a stock, ETF, or mutual fund, regardless of whether the market is up or down. This smooths out the highs and lows so you're not betting everything on one moment. Let me paint a picture with a real example. Meet Sarah, a single mom of two, juggling daycare costs and a mortgage. She has got $200 a month to invest after cutting back on takeout and canceling unused subscriptions. Instead of trying to guess when the stock market will hit rock bottom, Sarah uses DCA. Every month she puts $200 into an S&P 500 index fund. In January, when the market's high, her $200 buys 10 shares at $20 each. In March, when the market dips, her $200 buys 12 shares at $16.67. Over a year, she's invested $2,400 and owns 150 shares, with an average cost of $16 per share. If she'd waited to time the market, she might have panicked and missed the dip entirely. DCA took the guesswork out and kept her consistent. For parents like Sarah, drowning in bills, DCA is like a financial lifeline. It's simple, steady, and doesn't require you to watch the market like a hawk. Now, let's talk about buying the dip. This strategy is like waiting for a big sale at your favorite store. You hold on to your cash, watch the market, and pounce when prices drop. Sounds exciting, right? It's the thrill of getting a deal. But here's the catch. It's not as easy as it sounds. Buying the dip means you need to know when the market's truly at its lowest, and that's like trying to catch a falling knife. Let's look at Jake, a 25-year-old who's just started investing. Jake's got $1,000 saved up, and he's waiting for the perfect moment to buy into a tech stock he loves. In 2022, the market crashed, and Jake thought, this is it. He invested his $1,000 at $50 a share, grabbing 20 shares. But then the market kept falling, and that stock hit $40. Jake felt crushed, like he'd failed. If he'd used DCA, he could have spread that $1,000 across months, buying at $50, $45, and $40, lowering his average cost and stress. Here's where it gets interesting. Both strategies have their strengths, but they speak to different parts of your heart. DCA is like a warm hug. It's predictable, reduces risk, and keeps you disciplined. It's perfect for parents who need stability or retirees who can't afford to gamble. Buying the dip, on the other hand, is like a roller coaster. It's thrilling but risky. It is better suited for younger investors with time to recover from mistakes or those who love analyzing market trends. But here is a hard truth. Studies show most people who try to time the market, like buying the dip, end up underperforming. A 2020 study by Dalbar found that the average investor who tried to time the market earned 5.5% annually, while the S&P 500 returned 7.7% for those who stayed consistent with DCA. That's a gap that could cost you thousands over a lifetime. Let's use a metaphor to bring this home. Think of investing like fishing in a river. DCA is like casting a net every week. You catch fish steadily, big and small, without needing to know exactly where the fish are. Buying the dip is like waiting for the perfect moment to spear a big fish. You might get a trophy catch, but you could also miss and go home empty-handed. For most of us, parents stretched thin, young people building wealth, or retirees protecting their nest egg, the net is the safer bet. Consistency beats perfection every time. Let's be honest. Buying the dip sounds sexy. It is the financial equivalent of scoring a Black Friday deal or snagging a flight for half price. Who doesn't want to feel like they outsmarted the market? But here's why it's so tempting, especially for young investors or parents desperate for a quick win. Our brains are wired to chase bargains, and social media doesn't help. Every influencer on X is hyping the next crash as your big chance. But timing the market is like trying to predict the weather a year from now. Even experts get it wrong. In 2008, during the financial crisis, many waited for the bottom, only to miss the recovery in 2009. If you're a parent in debt, waiting for the perfect dip could mean missing months of growth that could be paid off a credit card. If you're young, you might sit on cash too long, losing the magic of compound interest. And for retirees, the risk of mistiming is even higher. Your savings can't afford a bad bet. The truth is, the market's unpredictable, but your discipline doesn't have to be. DCA lets you sidestep the stress of guessing and still win over time. It's not about being the smartest, it's about being the steadiest. Let's dig into what buying the dip feels like. Imagine you're Jake again, heart racing as you see a stock drop 20%. You jump in thinking you've nailed it, only to watch it fall another 10%. Your stomach drops. Doubt creeps in. Did you make a mistake? This emotional roller coaster is real, and it hits hardest when money's tight. For parents, every dollar invested feels like a sacrifice. Maybe it's less for your kids' soccer gear. For young investors, a loss stings like a personal defeat, making you question if investing's even worth it. Retirees, you're haunted by the fear of outliving your savings. A 2021 study from the University of California found that emotional decision-making in investing leads to worse returns because fear and excitement cloud judgment. Buying the dip amplifies those emotions. You're constantly second-guessing, waiting, or panicking. DCA, though, is like a steady heartbeat. It keeps you calm, investing the same amount whether the market's soaring or crashing. It's not about avoiding emotions. They're part of being human. It's about choosing a strategy that doesn't let them derail you. If you're tired of feeling like money controls you, DCA's consistency can give you back control, one small step at a time. Let's talk reality. If you're a parent, your days are packed. School pickups, bills, maybe a second job. If you're young, you're hustling to build a career. Retirees, you're balancing doctor's appointments and family time. Who has hours to study market charts? That's where DCA shines. It's the set it and forget it strategy. You pick an amount, say $50 a month, choose a low-cost index fund, and automate it. No need to watch CNBC or scroll X for market predictions. Think of DCA like a slow cooker. You toss in ingredients, let it simmer, and come back to a hearty meal. For Sarah, our single mom, automating $200 a month meant she could focus on her kids, not stock tickers. For young investors, it's a way to start small without overthinking. Retirees, it's a low-stress way to keep growing your nest egg. A 2019 Vanguard study showed that investors using automatic contributions with DCA stayed invested longer and earned higher returns than those chasing dips. Why? Because life's too busy for guesswork. DCA fits your schedule, not the market's. It's like planting seeds while you're running errands. Over time, you'll have a garden without losing sleep over it. If you're in debt, the idea of investing feels like a cruel joke. How can you think about stocks when you're dodging collection calls? Young people, you might feel like $20 isn't enough to matter. Retirees, you might think it's too late to start. But hear us a truth that hits like a sunrise. Investing isn't T just for the rich. It's for anyone who wants a future. DCA makes it possible. even if you're starting with pocket change. Imagine a leaky bucket. Your debt's the hole, but investing is patching it, drop by drop. A 10 monthly DCA contribution to an index fund at 7% annual return could grow to over $3,000 in 20 years. For parents, that's a college fund started with coffee money. For young investors, it's a habit that turns small sacrifices into big wins. Retirees, it's extra cushion for unexpected costs. The key is starting, no matter how small. As financial guru Dave Ramsey says, personal finance is 20% knowledge and 80% behavior. DCA is the behavior that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You don't need a windfall, you need a plan, and DCA is the simplest one out there. Let's dream bigger. Investing isn't just about money, it's about the legacy you leave. Parents, imagine your kids growing up without the weight of debt you carry. Young investors, picture a future where you're free to chase passions, not paychecks. Retirees, think of the peace of knowing you can help your grandkids or a cause you love. DCA isn't just a strategy, it's a promise to your future self and your family. Think of it like building a house, brick by brick. Each $50 you invest is a brick in a foundation that grows stronger over time. For Sarah, DCA meant her kids might go to college debt-free. For Jake, it's a down payment on a home in 10 years. For retirees, it's the difference between scraping by and living with dignity. A 2023 Fidelity study showed that consistent investors using DCA built portfolios 15% larger than those chasing market timing over 20 years. That's real money for real dreams. Your wealth isn't just for you, it's a gift to those you love. DCA makes it possible, not by gambling, but by showing up every month, building a legacy that says, I took control, and you can too. Let's talk numbers to make this real. Imagine you're 30 years old investing $200 a month in an S&P 500 index fund with an average return of 7% annually. I want you to pause and picture your life 5 years from now. Imagine the relief of paying off that credit card, the thrill of watching your investments grow, the security of knowing retirement won't mean sacrifice, or the pride of leaving a legacy for your family. You deserve that future, and it starts with one small step today. If this spoke to your heart, hit that subscribe button and join our community of everyday people building extraordinary futures. Drop a comment below. Tell me your biggest money fear or dream. Let's face it together. And if you're ready to take control, check out the link in the description for a free guide on starting your DCA journey. You're not alone, and you're closer to financial freedom than you think. Let's do this.